The only other couple things I want to cover, multiple drivers on a call. We've had this for a while, but not a lot of customers know they can put multiple drivers on the call now. So if I take just an active call, let's say any one of these. So Brian, let's say on this one, Brian's assigned to this call here. I'm assuming that the first driver that goes on that call is your primary driver. Your primary driver basically is control of everything. So that includes all the timestamps, taking payments, doing damage reports, getting signatures. That's what your primary driver is going to have access to on the driver app. Right? If I want to put a second driver on the call, let's just say it's going to be, so me and Brian are both going on this call. If I know the driver that's going to be on the call, I just drag him up to the call. Driver truck. Now I can set the second person or third or fourth, whoever it is, as my primary driver at this point if by checking this box. If I leave it unchecked, they're going to be a second, third, fourth, however many drivers you have going out on the call. Right. So let's just say I'm assigned. All right. You'll know you have a second driver if you see a +1 here if you're in this view. If you're in any one of the other views, like the large grid or classic grid, it should put it right here. So I have an additional drivers column now. Same thing on the classic grid. So it just depends what view that you have set up. Now, as far as the secondary driver is concerned, so let's go ahead and bring this, bring my phone back up. And here, screen sharing. All right, it was, I believe, this one. There it goes. Okay. So this is the call that Brian was the primary driver on. I was a secondary. I'll still see all the information, just like a normal call would be sent out to me. But when I go to the timestamp, I have the option to start my time. And when I'm finished, I have the option to end my time. So as a secondary driver, I can start and stop how long I was on that call. I can add photos if I want to. I won't have access to like the receipts. Like it will bring it up, but I won't have access to send any of this stuff because that's the primary driver. Same thing with payments. That's all going to be basically on your primary driver. Now what you can use that information for later on, the timestamps anyways. So what call was this? 8753. All right, so if I pick up 8753, sorry, 8753 here. Right. So I can start using those timestamps from my secondary driver or the primary driver to figure out labor now. All right, so if I add, do I have a labor charge on here? Let's use, which one is this? Beacon. I think I can use this one. Let me try this one instead. I have a labor charge on here. I guess I don't have any labor charges on here. Let's pick a. No. Let me find one that has labor on it, because we can do. This one might have it. Man, I am striking out today. None of these have, hold on. I'm just going to do this. I will add. Let's add a service here real quick. I'm going to add it to Bob's Cadillac. I gotta figure out which price list that this is using. This is dealer. Actually, Bob's Cadillac should have it. Did it not come up? There we go. Here's labor. Sorry about that. All right, so we got labor. So if I click the calculator now on this, I have the option to use, if it's my primary driver, I can use either their assigned or en route or arrive time as the starting time for this. So when we got feedback from companies, a lot of companies, they had a different answer. So for hourly charges, when do you start it? Some said it was on assigned, en route, or when the driver arrived. So all those timestamps will show here, assuming they're on the call. And then for when the time ends, you can say when it was loaded, dropped, or finished. Now I don't have a time yet on this call, so I can't use any of those. So I could select that, and then it would figure out whatever my time is, and I can add that. Now, if I wanted to use my secondary, third, fourth, or however many drivers are on that call, what I can do under this edit service option, you set it under the commissions. I say what driver did this service or what driver gets credit for this service. So if it was me, I hit OK. When I set a labor charge now, I'll get the driver's start and stop time here, and then it will base the labor or the time off of that timestamp, right? So you don't necessarily have to ask the driver every single time. As long as they're timestamping it correctly on their device, you can use it. But to get the second, third, fourth, fifth driver, however many people, you need to set that they did that service in the commission tab. All right, so that's a newer feature that's been around here for a little bit. This is also the way to split commissions. So this is also something new that not a lot of customers know about. I can split commissions between my primary driver, in this case Brian, and myself. So if I did this labor charge and I'm going to get commission for it, I can set myself up that, in this case me, I would get commission for this service on this call. And then let's say I had, I don't know, a tow or recovery, whatever else. Anything that doesn't have a little green icon next to it, Brian would get commission on this $40, and then I would get the commission on the $25 here. So you have that option as well. If you're not putting the secondary or third drivers on it, but you need to split commissions between a call, you can do it this way. We got some feedback how to split commissions on a single service. We currently don't have that option. What I've had other customers do, and I've added it as a suggestion, but let's just say we had a tow, and I'm going to pay, let's actually make this 0. Brian 20 on this, and then I'm going to pay, let's say myself 20 on this as well for the driver. You can go onto the service and say for this one, I can just put 20. If I don't set a driver, it assumes whoever the first driver is. If I want to be very clear just so I can see it myself, I could set Brian, but you don't have to. And then for this secondary service, or almost like a dummy service, you set it at 0, but on this service I would say, all right, Matt, and then he's going to get, or I'm going to get $20 on that. So that way you're taking a single service and still kind of splitting it. It's going to show that secondary service to the customer though on an invoice, but that's really the only way we have that split in individual service. Again, I put it in as a suggestion because it seems to be coming up quite a bit with customers, but currently that's the way to split commissions for a single service. But if it's a separate service that each person's getting credit for, you can split it individually with that little edit pencil. All right.